Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's write some more Leetcode today. Today we are solving count subarrays with score less than k. So the problem states that the score of an array is defined as the product of its sum and its length. So we are given a positive integer array nums and an integer k, and we want to return the number of non-empty subarrays of nums whose score is strictly less than k. So strictly less just means less than and not equal to. So if we look at this example, we'll return 6 because 2 is less than 10, 1 is a subarray on its own less than 10, 4 less than 10, 3 less than 10, 5 less than 10. So 5 of the elements on its own are all less than 10, and that's 5 subarrays. And if we see here, 2 plus 1 is 3, and the length is 2, so 3 times 2 is 6, and that is also less than 10. And that is all the subarrays that have a score less than k, so we return 6. So now that we have seen some examples, let's get to how we can solve this problem. So one way that we can solve this problem is we can use sliding window. So we will start the left pointer and the right pointer both at the very left. And as we iterate with the right pointer, we're going to add the element on the right pointer to the total. And then each time we iterate, we will take the total times the right pointer minus the left pointer plus 1. And if it is less than k, then we will add the length of the subarray to result. Because if you think about it, if hypothetically, let's assume this is valid, then we can also assume that this is valid, then we can also assume this is valid. So that's why we just add the length, because there's 3 subarrays that's valid. If it has a length of 3, that's valid. So basically for each right pointer we are iterating at, we are basically adding the number of subarrays that we can make with that right pointer included. And whenever the total times the length of the subarray, which is right minus left plus 1, if it's greater than or equal to k, then we need to shift the left pointer and subtract the element on the left from the total. And then we will continue this process until the right pointer has come all the way to the end. So let's go through this example real quick. So first we are at the very left. 2 times 1 is 2. So we can add 2 to total and the result is 1 because this has a length of 1. So now we shift the right pointer. It has a length of 2 and the total is 3. And 3 times 2 is equal to 6, which is less than 10. So then we will add the length of 2 to result because we know that this is a subarray and this is a subarray. So we can add 2. And now we need to shift the right pointer again. So the total is 7 and the length is 3. 7 times 3 is 21 is greater than k. So we need to shift the left pointer over. Now 5 as the total, the length is 2, is equal to 10, but it needs to be strictly less than k. So we need to shift the left pointer again. So 4 times 1 is 4, which is good. So we can add 1 to result because the subarray has a length of 1 and shift the right pointer. 7 times 2 is 14. It's not good, so we need to shift the left pointer. And by the way, when we shift the left pointer, we need to decrease the total by the value on the left. So 3 times 1 is 3, which is good, so we can add 1 to result. Now we shift the right pointer. The total is 8 times the length of 2 is 16, greater than k. It's not good, so we need to shift the left pointer. Now 5 times 1 is equal to 5, which is good, so we add 1 to result once again. And if we shift the right pointer, we would have been at the end, so we can return 6 as our result. So time complexity would be O of n, where n is the length of nums, because that is the number of elements we will iterate through. And the space complexity would be O of 1, because we are not using any extra space. So now let's get to the coding part. So first we'll initialize result to 0, initialize total to 0, and we will initialize the left pointer to 0. And then we will shift with the right pointer in the for loop. So for right in range length of nums, we will add whatever is on the right pointer to total. And then we will multiply total by the length of the right pointer minus left pointer plus 1. And if it is greater than k, then we need to subtract the element on the left from total and shift the left pointer. And once it is within the range of k, then we can add by the length of the subarray. And then we can return result in the end. Let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. Thank you all for watching. Hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave in the comment section, and I hope to see you all again soon.